Now I'd like to talk about perhaps my favorite math trick, or one of my favorite math tricks. Before we do that, I want to mention one more thing about the previous trick, trick 1. Let's say you're doing something like this. So the number between them, how do we do that? We could either average them, so that would be 106 over 2, which would be 53, or you could take the distance, right? Have the distance and add the distance to 26. Let's just average them, divide by 2. So we would get 53 squared minus, how far is each one to 53? That would be 27. All right. Remember, the purpose of trick 1 is to make your life easier. Do you know what this number squared is? I don't. I know that one. So it's not only when these numbers are odd and even and they give you a 0.5 that you don't want to use it. It's also when the numbers are very far apart, because then the middle isn't that close and it can be a large number, and we don't know all our perfect squares, just 1 through 20 or 1 through 31. So that's the caveat on when not to use trick 1. All right, now let's get into trick 2. So trick 2, for lack of a better name, works like this. And it's even better than trick 1. Well, in my opinion. All right, so there's 2 conditions first. All right, the tens digits must be equal, and the ones digits must sum to 10. So what is that about? The tens digits are equal, they're both 2s. The 4 and the 6 sum to 10. So that means we can use trick 2, which I'm going to tell you in a second what that is. Let's say we had 24 and 25. The 4 and the 5 do not sum to 10, so you cannot use trick 2 on this problem. Let's say this is a 6, but this is a 3. So the 4 and the 6 sum to 10, the 2 and the 3 are not the same. So both conditions must hold. And this only works for 2-digit times 2-digit numbers. I encourage you guys to explore what happens with 3-digit numbers, but I don't know. All right, so here's the trick. You take the 2 and the 2, you add 1 to this second 2, so you do 2 times 3. Right? 2 times 3. And then you do 4 times 6. So what's 2 times 3? 6. What's 4 times 6? 24. So the answer is 624. Now that blew your mind. It blew my mind too, and that's why this is one of my favorite tricks. So let's practice this a little bit. So we are going to do 3 times 1 more than 3. So that's 3 times 4, 12. 4 times 6, 24. So 1224 is your answer. When doing these, I encourage you not to read it as 1,224, because it just slows everything down. If you want to be a teacher's pet and read it off at the end, you can. But when you're just doing these and practicing them, you can just read them as 1224. All right, let's do a few more. So we would do 1 times 1 more than 1. So 1 times 2, that's 2. 4 times 6, 24. Let's try 13 and 17. Again, 1 times 2, that's a 2. 3 times 7, 21. 221. Let's try 52 times 58. 5 times 6, 2 times 8. All right. Now, again, before you guys go and start using this, there's one thing I should mention. All right, use trick 2. Tell me what you get. 30 9, 309, right? Does that seem reasonable to you guys? Well, 50 times 50 is already 2,500. So either the trick's not working or something went wrong. So when you have a 1 and a 9, it should be 0, 9. That's the only catch to it. So if you do 71 times 79, it should be 7 times 8, and then 0, 9. Other than that, you should be good to go. So remember, trick 2, when it works, is really powerful. But so you might be thinking, well, trick 1 sucks. Trick 1 doesn't suck because it works in more cases than trick 2. But when trick 2 works, so let's go here. You could use either trick 1 or trick 2 on this problem. You could either say that would be the trick 1 approach. Or you could do 1 times 2, 3 times 7, and be done with it. So this is the trick 2 approach. So 225 minus 4 is 221. So on problems such as these, both tricks work. So when both tricks work, you can try both of them, but you should use trick 2. All right.